Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live, Season 2, Episode 8. So it's the February's new FM content and a bit of a raid review. Welcome, everybody. Good evening.
Science
is golden. Okay,
Science.
so you'll
Science is
somebody
golden.
had to, right. That's the first and last Google effects, okay? That's enough of that rubbish.
Everyone is fired.
We're in a good mood today, in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, so everybody's on the panel. So we've got, let's have a look. Apart from obviously, unfortunately, Mr. Hairdo isn't here. So he's unfortunately trapped in some massive. I don't know. He's trapped doing some sort of security alarm system somewhere.
He's
in the middle
trapped in a lot of goo.
Yeah, he's stuck in some shopping precinct. I think Lucy locked him in or something. Anyway, but so Stu's in, which is great. Monster's in as well. Ren's on holiday. George is a merc, obviously, and Brian's gone back to the 80s. It's all good. So we've had some more effects, obviously, backgrounds this week. Welcome everybody in chats. Quite a few regulars in there. Robin's in there as moderating, which is fantastic. I don't have to do any of that stuff anymore.
Hey, Robin.
So we're all good. There's quite a few regulars in there and a few news as well. So that's good. Right. Shut up talking, Mark. Let's get straight on with it. We've got quite a lot of slides. Some of it is just there for your benefit. So when I upload the PDF to the page, then you'll be able to scan through them. But it's in there as well. But some of them are previous TLCs that we've encountered before. So let me just share my screen and we'll make a commencement. You had to. Okay, we're up and we're live. So here we go then. So TFC Season 2, Episode 8, 22nd of February 2017. In tonight's presentation pack is a lot of stuff. I'll give you a chance to read that. If only this was physical as well as visual. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out this week and that sort of stuff, and some of it's going to have quite a few slides, so we'll just crack straight on. Yeah, he says, right. Oops, there we go. Right, so I'll have a quick reflection, I thought, on the Rising Shadow. So everything from the second prize preview to now. So just a quick few things, basically. A quick reflect on presentation. Raid tactics. Ren, I know you got a comment on that one there. Okay, any glitches during the raid and that sort of stuff, the prize packs, and then basically feedback afterwards. So take it away. George, I know you got some stuff to say. You always have. George.
What? It's my turn? I thought we were doing the Snow Mexican first.
No, you're first, mate.
No, you talk too much, so you go first.
Oh, I see. Actually, I loved it. I had a blast. The 100 targets were pretty well balanced. You know, you ate your teeth if you messed up, and if you didn't and spent the time, you could do it for no damage. It wasn't. I mean, I was running through a bunch because I was merking, you know, and I decided to drive very aggressively in them. So instead of doing the 3 loops around it, I was driving inside and killing the inside turrets and trying to take out the ballistic ones at the same time. And you know, you could still do it that way and take very little damage. I think I was averaging something like 8 minutes of damage for the fleet, so I go in and break it up and repair. But overall, I thought it was real balanced. I liked the 100 enough where, you know, after I got used to it the first couple times, I didn't bother with anything else. I didn't bother with the 8 sets. I didn't try the campaigns. I didn't do anything. I know the campaigns were glitched again in Alpha World, so, you know, maybe they're trying to get everybody in Alpha World for the raids. I don't know, but other than that, I had a blast. I didn't have any glitches. I had, you know, some lag. The one thing that I wish I had actually caught on tape was when you were in the 100, if you were zoomed out, a lot of people were saying that they were having lag issues when they were zoomed out. When you got those weird walls to pop up in the top and the bottom, I would always notice that it would lag then. And when they were done, you had no problem again. So I would actually go up in the corner and force them up, and then keep on doing my driving so I wouldn't get caught. And the only other one that the only other thing that I found was when you're doing the loops, if you got those 3 little pylons at the bottom that were together, you could let the thing auto to the end of set waypoints, so you could finish out the target if you were prepping it without getting hit by one of those launcher turrets, because those hurt when you mess up. I found that out real early, that if you skip those 3 and kind of just do your little waypoints, it targets the pylons first instead of the turrets, which is annoying, and gets you shot. But those 2 things are probably the only things that I had issues with, that, you know, that they could be mitigated. You could zoom in, or you could, you know, just keep it in the back of your head. But other than that, I really liked it. I mean, I enjoyed it. The sector enjoyed it. You know, the sector was busy the entire time. Players were engaged. Everyone was helping everybody. I mean, I think overall, like in my sector, everybody was happy as piss. So
cool.
I liked it.
Brian, how's it for you, mate?
It was pretty good. I started off on A's because I had to get used to a full 5 of Cannoneers. I think I had 4 last time, and the Harlocks, and they're kitted out with Millenniums. I did really well. I got, 82.5 was my target, and I got that before the open mic on Saturday.
Wow.
Just doing A's and S's, and even when I screwed up on the S sets, like I had class or I had, go to bed, so I could just do A's until I screw up 3 or 4 times, and or S's until I screw up 3 or 4 times, and go on repair them, and it went really well. Used what I learned. It was great.
Excellent. Ren, what do you think, mate, about the do you have any problems with any of the glitches or that sort of stuff, or anybody have any downtime? I don't think we did have any this time.
No, other than I heard about this, the campaigns were paying too much again in alpha. No, I had some lag on the 100, just what George described. So I learned how to counter the lag on my piece poor laptop, right? And the way I countered the lag was by zooming in. So actually, when the walls surfaced on the sides, right, on the corners, they were not on my screen, so there was no need to render them or the effects, and I didn't suffer lag. And the other thing is, the little 3 pylons up top, if I didn't hit them, the black walls all over the top would not come up and would save me from all the lag they cause. So I started not hitting the top 3 pylons, and consistent, no matter how close I got to the radioactive turret and the pylon behind them, as long as I didn't hit those 3 pylons, they didn't come up. So
interesting.
That was one trick to avoid lag, and the other was zooming in. By doing those 2 things, it was very, very playable, very, very enjoyable. It was, honestly, I mean, it was great. I could just drive around in literally less than a minute. No, about a minute and 20 seconds. I had all the center and the main turret dead. Very fast, right? So, and the other thing I liked is that the mistakes were not the end of the world, like I could make mistakes sometimes, get in the range of the blunderbusses, and I would take maybe 10%, 5% damage on my fleet. So I could actually, even with mistakes, keep going for, once I got the hang of it, I could do 8, 10, 12, even once I did 15 in a row before I lost my flagship and I had to dock.
That's pretty
right?
decent,
And the flagship was always going first because my flagship had D2T armor, so resistance was lower on the flagship.
Got you.
But I did that because the flagship had no rank, and I wanted it turning along with the other, so that worked.
Excellent.
It was good. It was very good. And I was happy. I saw, like, when I collected the data points, that about 13,000, 14,000 players were over 20 million points, which is very good to say a lot of people got decent tech. And we had, I think, 20-something thousand players over 3 million points, which is where people could get the Ironclad, the Mauser, and the
the
system.
The open store. Yeah,
a lot of people got a lot of decent stuff this month. It was good.
No, I'm impressed, I must admit. And my own alliance, I must admit, we got everybody that played got at least 40 million points. Every single person in the alliance. So that's, I mean, and I'm not a huge alliance, I know, but everybody in there got either the pride, or they got themselves the Cannoneers and the Harlock as well, sort of stuff. So, it was definitely a good raid. And for those that had already built their ships for last month, it was just as you said, 1 minute 20, and you're giving somebody 1.85 million points. It was amazing. So it was good news. Quite happy.
And I was using crews. I mean, I was using, like, every time I launched my Cannoneer fleet, I had a crew on it. And Demo Squad I used only once, but I used a lot of Creeping Death and a lot of Wrecking Crew. And these two helped a lot. A lot. I mean, they made a big difference in the damage output against the turrets.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing I was going to say as well, just for the first time in a long time, I actually went onto the main comms, and the amount of people that were really, really keen to go and help the low levels, they'd find somebody. It was like, I mean, one of our guys I saw, he was going out with Marauders, and he was doing absolutely nothing. And he went, mate, do you want some points? Here, I'll leave you one wall. And basically just sailed over with some Marauders and that sort of stuff, and they hit a S target for him and just left the wall. All of a sudden, he had nothing, and then he had 1.8 million points, and he went and got himself some prizes, you know. What a transformation for someone that was just starting into the game. I was really impressed, I must admit.
On Ren's point on the crews, I generally didn't use crews at the beginning. Like the first day, I think I was using a bunch of demo crews. But what I found, I was testing, I was playing around with them, and what I found was the single star salty dog actually helped. Especially if you were driving aggressively, it gave you just that little bit more ability to finish off the stuff and mitigate your damage. It was weird. I liked it. I used a bunch of them during the raid.
Yeah, I started off using crews, I must admit, but in the end, I didn't need them. You know, it's like you get that muscle memory piece, don't you? And that sort of stuff that comes in. So after I think I got to I had the Friday off, so when I got to sort of lunchtime, I'd helped a lot of people. I stopped doing crews altogether, and I was quite content, you know. And if I made a mistake, as Ren had said, it was a minor mistake, and I'd go and nip in, go get a brew or something, and then 20 minutes later, I was back and fully fixed again. So I kept it that way on purpose.
So you mean that you called in sick on Friday, right?
No, I actually took a day's leave. I do that once a month, so days off. Couldn't possibly take a time off when the kids are home. Right, anyway, come on, let's move on. Okay, that'll do for the raid review. That's enough. We don't have to go right across the board for that, but just some general comments there. And I think there was a mirrored from what the comments have been said in the chat there, which is good. Right, so here we go then. So let's bring up to speed and let's talk about today's release then. So a really interesting release, quite a bit of content, but some of the points are quite worthy discussing quickly, or at least going over in detail. Okay, so as you can see there, it says there's been several small changes to the FM mission, which we noticed, made in response to the player feedback. So thanks KixEye, and I've already sent in a personal note to say, do you know what the community across the 3 main pages have asked for has actually sort of paid off, because they have listened and they've responded. So in general, basically, there's a general statement there, which you can read, so I don't need to, but basically, so their data indicated there's a shortfall, and I know Ren picked up on that a couple of weeks back to say that basically some people are getting stuck and they can't progress. And bless them, we'll talk about what they've done in a minute, and they've made some adjustments, which is going to make things a lot easier for people in the future. I, for one, am really pleased with this week's update. I think it's excellent. I think the rollout of it has been timely, and I think they've done exactly the right changes they need to do, personally, in the FM. Stu, you're there, mate. What's your thoughts on this week's update?
Sorry, I forgot I had my mic mute. No, it's fantastic. Absolutely. I've had a couple of friends come back to the game. I've mentioned it before. Yeah. They've had difficulties doing the FM, catching up, stuff like that. They can always do, 1, 2, maybe tier 3, get square to start. But to see the Citadel in tier 2 is absolutely insane. Yeah,
it's great, isn't it?
I've never, for me personally, obviously, I've already got Citadels and stuff like that, so maybe it's not so great for me, but for the smaller levels and the people that are actually struggling to sort of catch up, and with the Foundry system as much of a grind as it is to get the Citadel, seeing the Citadel come this far and this low in the Forsaken mission is a huge thumbs up to the smaller players. So I think it's a fantastic idea. And I hope to see, not just the Citadel, but, them start using this more often. If holes become... Yeah. I mean, it's something we asked for, isn't it, just before Christmas and just after, particularly in January as well, when we saw this format turn up. And, they've listened again, they've retuned the 87. I haven't seen really hit it yet, but I might actually go and hit it and see if I can find a really old fleet if I've got one still lying around and just see what it's like. But apparently the 87's been down-tuned, which would be nice for those individuals that are coming up, particularly those that maybe not got Punishers yet, but have got other things, or have got, Centuries. I don't know. Anyway. Other fleets and that sort of stuff. So that's good news. And they've changed the namings, as we know. So tiers have gone now, and they call them prize pools and that sort of stuff. So as it says there, please note that some tier 5 holes will actually be in prize pack 4 and that sort of stuff. So the prize pool itself is now not necessarily related to the tier of the actual item, and that's been like for a while, because they have moved some things down the tiers, what were tiers now prize pools, but didn't actually reduce the capability of the item. So
prize pool is probably a better area. So the quality of the prize obviously is not as good as it is as they go up, but in some respects, then they can now move things around a lot easier, and it shouldn't upset too many people, confuse too many people. All in all, I think that's pretty decent, to be honest. So that's that slide. Let's look on there. So here we go. This is the main bit, I think, which is which I know Stu just mentioned there. To be honest, is this addition then of Punisher into the prize pool 1, and obviously then the Citadel into prize pool 2, and just the number of tokens. So and the nice thing I like as well, that everyone's going to get these tokens. So if you've been like, oh, I haven't got time to refit my Punisher now because I've goofed up the build and this is now better and I've seen no other builds, now you've got the opportunity. And I know 3 or 4 of my guys have already refitted their Punishers today from things they've been wanting to do for ages. Brian, I mean, what do you think? Has that got to help the non-coiner? Surely it's got to.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Party over here, etc. I actually need to mess with my FM tank, so the tokens are welcome even to someone like me who's had Punisher and Citadels back for a while. And yeah, definitely, like I could be really greedy and say, oh, lower the build time of the Punisher, but no, not really, because that 3-day Punisher build token, that's 12 days, you'll have a pretty good FM tank just off of those. Yeah. I don't remember the points for like the lower tiered stuff, but if you can go out and clear 1 or 2 things, or even like just have a guy in your alliance tank up one platform of 109 where you go.
I was going to say the prize pool 1 is 150,000 points. It's super easy to get. If you have a few DNXs, that's you can do it easy.
Yeah, 150k. It's
Yes.
it's reachable for most people, and probably you can do it in mercenary fleet sort of stuff. You can probably send that out, especially if you've done the new one. You'll probably get away with doing that, to be honest. But I like the fact that in prize pool 2, which is not many more points, straight away you're going to some VXP tokens there, and it's a lot of VXP. 1,500. That's right.
Yeah, probably enough to get 1 Punisher, because that's important. People need to get the Punisher, and then when you get the XP tokens, give it some rank. Otherwise, the countermeasures will not reload fast enough to keep up. So that's good.
Yeah, I like it. I must admit, I think it's an excellent change. I must admit, I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with that. So good news. Yeah. Right. Let's move on. Anyway, and here we go into the top tiers.
So Mark, just before you move on, there's one thing we didn't put on the slides, but
go on.
Prize Pool 3 has some Citadel build tokens. So you can get on Prize Pool 2, you get the Citadel print, and then if you do Prize Pool 3, you get some Citadel build tokens. So for anyone who has the shipyard available today, here's my suggestion. We have a VXP weekend coming out starting in 2 days. Okay, should be enough for you to get the Punisher built. Even don't even spend all the 12 tokens or 12 days if you don't want, but just get it built to suicide and rank. Get the Citadel, and if you can get Prize Pool 3, you get some Citadel tokens. Build some naked Citadels with just the weapons. Suicide them as well. And bingo, you have 4 holes with some decent rank on them. And now you can use the rest of the tokens in regular time to get them built. So literally, I think people could get an FM fleet of a Punisher and 3 Citadels going in maybe 2-3 weeks. With already all of them with some rank, if you're capable of getting them built before the XP weekend kicks in on Friday. Yeah. Or even Saturday, I mean.
And to be fair, even when you build your Citadels, you don't need to put armor on them, because mine haven't got any on at all, and they still.
Yeah, I put V armor on that monster, just to make them a little bit faster.
Yeah, the speed wall.
But I think what they did the other day as well, they dropped the Pando Mort right down to the tiers. I can't remember which tier it's in, but that gives you the free armor points as well if you wanted them, and it's a darn good mortar. Okay, it hasn't quite got the range, but. I mean, let's be honest, if you can be hitting in the 87s and that sort of stuff, or even actually climbing up to the 102s, the Punisher with some reasonable sort of counters on it, and a Citadel with some pandas on it, is going to make a right mess.
Well, I mean, that's one of the good things that I actually love about, I'm ecstatic about this upgrade update for deeper reasons than just what they've done superficially. But the one thing that's really cool is that these now are in the lower, prize pools and lower tiers, and they lead into each other. And not only do they lead into each other, they lead into each other quickly. You can go and get the Punishers and hit tier 2, and then if you can't get to tier 3, you're having issues, you can take those Punishers, you have the VXP, you have them built, you hit a couple 102s to get yourself up into tier 3 and 4, and then you can start with the Citadels and you'll get up to 4 and 5. I really like, this is a great way to path people into the Forsaken mission.
Yeah, so confirm that Pandas are into tier 2 as well. So, it's great. And I like the fact they slid these also to the start of the prize pack, so you haven't got get all the way through. It's the Punisher is the very first thing to win now. So if you've never done FM before, that's the hole you're going to get. Yep. What an amazing prize!
And the good thing is can I just counter something already? I mean, someone in the TFC Facebook page already posted. There's always people who they get a horse and they complain, right? I mean, so. I saw some people complaining that, of course, Kixeye will give that away now that it's useless. And I'm sad to say, or maybe I'm not, that people who think they're useless now really don't have a clue on this game.
They need to check our page. I mean,
they
are on our page. No. So here's the thing. I mean, I just want to say, if the Citadel, yes, true, the Citadel will not be the top dog in the Garrison class anymore, but will be the second best or the third best, right?
Yep.
So just like what people can accomplish, let's say, with Nova Storms today, they'll still be able to accomplish with Citadels. I mean, FM's going to change, but still going to be a Garrison target, still going to deal the same type of damage, still going to take the same kind of type of damage. So, no, the Citadels will not be useless after next raid cycle. They will just not be the best. They will be the second or third best, but still useful. So wake up.
We'll also prove them wrong in 20 minutes.
Oh God, yeah.
When we get to the TLC.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the people that are saying that it's useless or blah blah blah. Listen, go onto our page. We have Punisher builds for tanks, Citadel builds for the FM. There's still 4 months of this FM. There's 4 months of this FM. You get these now. You have an FM build, and you're more than likely going to be able to at least participate in the next raid. I mean, you might not be able to get top prize, but you'll be able to do something instead of going, hey, I don't got the damn fleet. I don't got this. I don't got that. I can't do this. I can't participate. Bullshit now. Because there it is.
You can drag sits around doing your base parts as well. I mean, okay, we're changing this, aren't we? But you can drag the asses around behind, a lead, put some...
Punisher's a great tank.
Punisher's a good tank, yeah. It is. Yeah.
So,
and some people got the Zalos last month, and last weekend. If you got the Zalos, is an even better FM tank than the Punisher. I put a video about a month ago how to build a FM tank using Punisher or Zalos. I mean, just go watch that if you want. And if you got the Zalos last weekend for 1 million points, it's another option, but it's going to take longer to build than this 12 days of Punisher tokens, which give you pretty much an instant tank.
Yeah, and the good thing about the Punisher is obviously the fix time's so much better, isn't it, in comparison?
Yeah, true.
I mean, the Zealous lasts
longer,
but the
takes
Punisher...
less damage.
Yeah, very much so. Right, let's bring ourselves up to speed and let's talk about, obviously, the latest Tier 5 kit. So here we go, concussive dampening overlay. Okay, it's a bit like the explosive one we had before and that sort of stuff. So this is to go on buildings, okay, in your base. And it basically is supposed to help you, obviously, with people coming in, hitting you with concussive tech. What do we think of this one?
That was the chromium overlay. It was meant for corrosive. Oh, sorry.
Corrosive, yeah, the previous one, wasn't it?
I just wanted to highlight for everyone that it only affects walls, right? So your buildings or your turrets will not gain resistance, only the walls in front of them, right? And you got to put that on some sort of even putting that on the advanced lab. The advanced lab can be killed almost instantly nowadays, so it's really not very useful if you put that on labs, unless the labs are behind the walls too, right? But people who are getting trashed by Revengers with Gatling guns, that helps. It's either that or this is an indication of something that's coming down the pipe, right?
Yeah, I was wondering that as well.
That's what I think it is.
Oh yeah, it must be something coming down the pipe because lots of players that I've seen since I've come back are still using morts, and this will do now against morts. Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, almost nobody had put on chromium overlays before the Pride, and then people took a look at it and said, and maybe they put them on, but they kind of collected dust for months. I think this will be the fate of this until we get to which faction boosts concussive? Wait, there aren't any, right? That's the one there aren't any?
Right.
Okay. Well, at some point, I'm sure there'll be a concussive tier 6 hull, and this will help greatly against that.
I thought
Chromium
buffed concussive, no?
I think it's
No,
corrosive.
corrosive. I thought it was
Okay,
corrosive.
yeah.
I can't
Okay,
remember.
gotcha.
I'll look.
I just know that they look cool. The chromium overlay was actually good for Cobra Scatta Tigers that were coming in.
That was the whole idea,
That was
yeah.
the big, that was the big thing. And then
But it was released late.
Pride, right after the Pride test server, I threw it on.
And now here's another idea, right? Less obvious, but if people are hitting your bases with, what's that whole name? The Malice, using the hammer cannon, almost half the damage inflicted by the hammer cannon is concussive, so that helps too.
And there's also
Malice.
the 75%
I don't see that
ballistic.
often, but it's just another use.
Underrated
Malice
hull.
plus hammer. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good. Right. Okay. Let's go on. Oh, sorry. Here we go. So, so to the left of the picture, then obviously is the blueprint for the new one. I've put up the Gale System 3 there, as the Gale Level 3 for a comparison. Okay. So this one is not a limited, obviously, item blueprint. So it's the Hailstorm Anti-Mort D, Level 4 D, basically. And the good thing about it, it's not limited. But obviously, looking at the stats, so if you've got Gales already fitted, you know, it's probably sitting around about a Gale 2, if anything.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. No,
It's worse than Gale 3. I haven't done the math on it versus Gale 2, but Gale 2 is so much lighter that I'd run Gale 2s over this. But if you don't have Gale 3s, this is fine.
It's better than, yeah, all the previous sort of stuff, isn't it? So, I mean, it's not horrendous weight and that sort of stuff. You know, it's just the range is a bit less and that sort of stuff. You know, and the salvo, you know, it's 1 under. So it's definitely a Gale 2 salvo because that's 6, isn't it? And stuff. Reload time is reasonable. So you know, but you know, accuracy is down by 10. You know, so. But the fact is, just stack as many as you want. So.
Yeah, but there's this little upgrade button in there, which to me indicates it's already included in the countermeasure category in the Founder, and not the Founder, in the Retro Lab.
Yeah,
so
it
those
could be,
stats should get 10%, 11% better when you get it to R15. And if you already have the others on R15, it should be buffed.
Yeah, that should change a lot because right now, looking at it, the numbers suck compared to Gale 3, and I have plenty of Gale 3s.
But if it has the upgrade button, means it's in the Retro Lab.
Yeah, but not everybody has Gale 3s though.
True, that's true. And if you don't, this is a great thing for you. But
I personally don't use Gale 3s.
This is better than AOC. This is better than AOC. And the weight to performance relation.
Yes, it is in there. You get a 12%. You get a 12%.
Oh, it has the upgrade button, so it has to be there.
Yep.
Well, that's the first time I've seen
range
something released that's gone into the retrofit lab for a long time. Then,
well, the Vulture should be in there too, right?
The Hyena.
The Hyena. I mean, I'm sorry.
Stop.
The Hyena was in the Retro Lab. That's true.
One thing at a time. Come on, there's one thing at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, so here we go. The next thing then, and there we go. So this is the fourth incarnation then of this this damage upgrade plate that you can put on, and obviously they are stackable and that sort of stuff if you've got enough slots. But basically, so this is the ballistic one. And obviously you get a 10% boost there for a 4% weapon weight increase across the complete hull there. So, and obviously you can see that I put the other 3 down there just so you can remind yourselves which one. We all know that there's an ampacity one as well, but that's a limited tech and it can only go on Conquerors and that sort of stuff. So I've discounted that one for this slide. But basically, yes, I know there is another one. But these are the ones that can go on any hull basically, and in any slot and any amount that you want to put on. So. It just rounds it off, I think, now, doesn't it? To be honest, it's you know, those are the main sort of like.
I think now it ships having like 6 special slots, the new Conqueror series. maybe we'll start having more and more uses for those. Not to mention base guards, where we don't need speed system or anything. If you have dedicated base guards, that helps.
But with the Pride now, like I'm looking at it. I have all 6 slots filled, and I still see spots to put in. You know, like this could be this other special. There's like 8 or 9 good specials in the pool. I'm thinking of this in base defense. Also, the 12% fire rate literally makes the difference. This shoots down. On average, this will shoot down more mortars per second. Oh wait, no, I did the cycle time. Never mind. I'd have to redo the math, but I don't actually have time to redo the math. So if you got Gale 3s on there, leave them on there. If you don't, pick this up. That's it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the gong. I'm booed off stage. I actually have to go to class. Bye bye.
Okay. Cheers, Ryan.
Hi, Brian.
That was a quick catch up. And Brian's gone. Okay, so that's the Gale 3 versus Hail situation. Okay. So this one, yeah, I mean, I know some people have got mouses in their guard and that sort of stuff. You don't need an engine on that, so you can put this on instead. You know, 10% boost across each of the weapons is nice, you know, and it can make a difference. So, yeah, so it's a give and take. You know, have it if you want it. Don't use it if you don't want to. It's not going to change the game. But at the end of the day, you might just find that one slot and go, do you know what? I'm going to chuck it on.
Oh, sometimes I find it difficult to use up all the slots on the gamma depending on the build. So, I mean, it definitely has value in the game. We already have explosive, radioactive, blah, blah, blah. So it makes sense that it would come out.
Yeah, it's there. So here we go. So I just thought, I mean, you're not going to read this. I do appreciate that. But basically, obviously, as we just to highlight that clearly some of the prize pool items have moved down in prize pools. And so this one here for you guys that can't, you know, get to the prize pool 5, the old tier 5, then, well, don't worry about it if you want to get judgment mortars and obviously, you know, the explosive system 4, because it's dropped down to tier 4. You know, so that's a nice win-win for a lot of people and that sort of stuff that have not been able to get that before, either in a campaign sort of stuff or a prize pack. So if you've been getting to the prize pack 4 and you've been waiting for a big mortar and that sort of stuff, you know, and the right special to go with it, then there you go. It's there for you. So things are dropping down through the prize pool, which is nice. Like I say, I won't labor on that one there because it's probably illegible to you on the screens. Right, so here we go. The first of the TLCs then. So this one's got quite a few slides. It's quite compact and quite interesting, quite unusual. Okay, then TLC, this one here. So basically, as the print says there, okay, and we had our Outpost 9 update, and with that, then we had the option to choose a faction, as we know. So this is the start of the first set of campaigns that's going to go out throughout the year. That basically, I'm not saying it's going to mirror your faction, that sort of stuff, but being in the right faction may help you. It doesn't mean you can't do it and that sort of stuff, you know. So maybe you want to look each month at what TLC is going to be coming up and then maybe change your faction for that, but then that's obviously based down to what your base guard is as well. So and this one here is going to release limited Conqueror class holes and that sort of stuff, which obviously this one has done. It's quite interesting though, because some of the campaigns, the encounters, you can use PvE, and then some of it needs to, well, you can do it all by PvE, but some of it recommends you do definitely, like this one states here, in encounters 5 and 7, it really strongly recommends using Conqueror PvP holes. And it also tells you can use the tier 6, the latest one as well. So it's quite a lot to think about there.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I've already done level 1 and 2, mate. And you definitely need a Conqueror fleet on like the 2 base ones, because there's a hell of a lot of morts.
Is it?
A hell of a lot of morts, mate, yeah.
Yeah, I've not looked at it yet. I must admit, a couple of my guys have done it, but obviously, you know, I was doing slides tonight, so I haven't had a chance myself. But it's not just a case of go and pick one fleet and just go and do the whole lot. You've got to pick it apart. Is that right?
Yeah. I think, and to be fair, I mean, I know I've been away from the game for a bit, and I haven't got like Harlock Citadel or the VR shells. But unless you're up to date, mate, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah. But then again, it's designed for that, isn't it? This is the top tech. I mean, you've got to have an OP9 for starters. You can't even go into it, you know, and they're expecting you to have some pretty decent.
I think this is more designed around players that are kind of, you know, already at the top of the game, such like that. Like another tool for the toolbox in the PvP area. I mean, like, as you just said, you've just come back to the game. So, like, your main concerns right now are just getting short and stuff. Right? And I know how frustrating it is to want to be involved in PvP. but it's just the way that the game, is kind of,
no,
pushing you down that path.
I mean, you can do
And
it.
clearly, this is, based on the requirement of having OP level 9. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it is the first time Kickside level locks something, not based on your base level, which is a progress because we've been talking to them about how ineffective that is, level locking. Right? So this time, they're, for the first time, locking by tech. Do you have the OP level 9 tech? Then you can do the campaign, because
we've been asking
it's a
for
clear
that,
message that this is not for people who are on OP8 level, kind of thing. I find that a lot more effective as a first step.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's definitely the case. So let's go through then. So we've got this. There's 3 runs to do basically. Basically, there's going to be 7 encounters in the end one, basically, and that sort of stuff. So just bear in mind, encounters 1 to 4 and 6, you can use anything except PvP. And for 5 and 7, you can use PvP or you can use anything, but it is going to change things slightly. So this is the first of those TLCs that's got a fresh approach. The delivery's new, the target audience is new, and that sort of stuff. And the output from it is obviously, it's releasing a hull that can basically go and attack OP level 9 bases. That's the idea of it, isn't it? So yeah, that's where we are. Okay. Yeah, it is. Ka-ching. You're right. I'm going to slap you, George. Right.
That wasn't
Okay.
me. What the hell? I blame Stu. Hold on. Is Ren smiling again? It's Ren again. Look at him.
Yeah. I don't know where he is at the moment. He's moved location, isn't he? So,
oh, Ren, come on, man. I saw the green dots that time.
So this is the first run then, basically. So you get this turret enhanced special, which is obviously the SSKP enhancement. That sounds grand, doesn't it, eh?
Now, what the fuck is that name? Sorry.
I don't know what SSP. What does SSKP stand for?
Do you want me to try?
Make something up if you want to, but I thought it was Z
Special,
something.
but it stands for Special Soup Kitchen Progress. All right, that's what it stands for.
Anyway,
Let's say the K. So here's the contest for the TFC members. Assuming that the K stands for Kickside, come up with the other 3 letters.
Oh God! Really?
Why
You
would
do
you
that?
do that? You know what you're gonna say.
Why?
right, that's something that that's definitely something that Robin can put up, and then Robin can monitor.
God. Which one is that?
Which
I still
one's
don't know
what?
which one that is. That the one that he just did.
Before we actually go too far into this, I would actually like to say that this is kind of a godsend special, not only because of the Hyena turrets out, but at the same time, I've been looking for turrets to upgrade on my island to level 8 because it's quite difficult because, beyond catwalks, there's not too much more I'd really want at level 8. But now I have to do my Deadeye Executioners to level 8 to get the 3rd special slot so I can put this on. So that's kind of giving me a new option.
That's a great reason to get the Deadeye turrets to level 8. You're right, because that 3rd special is going to fit right in.
Yeah, the extra accuracy, the extra reload. Yes, please.
Now, dummy questions too. Have you tried putting that together with the other existing specials to make sure they're not exclusive, like mutually exclusive? Because I haven't.
I have them. I have 3 of them on the Hyena turret right now. For
so
power
the 3 of
issues,
them work together.
I had to use what was it called? For Hyenas anyway, I had to use thermobaric casing 2, fire support M, and then the SSKP enhancement. Yeah, because the power requirement, because the turret.
And before anyone not paying attention accuses Stu of being a dirty coiner, he's not. The base part.
Base parts.
Base part.
Actually, that's a bit both.
He is a dirty coiner.
I was gonna say it was a tiny bit of both. I got impatient when it said 6 hours left, and I was like, I'll coin it.
Filthy coiner.
6 hours is not a filthy coiner. 6 hours is okay.
The fact that he just nonchalantly did it makes him a filthy coiner.
All right. I like that. So we've had in the chat then. So far we've got special ship killing pack, and then someone's got sell kicks pack. So There'll be some better ones, or maybe worse. You're looking at it. So anyway, there you go. So there's a new turret special. Basically, it's 4 penetrative turrets and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it comes out at the same time as the new Hyena, which we'll look at in a second. But also, it can go on other things as well. So nice to have a new special for our bases. So, and I must admit, I think Executioners and Deadeyes have been doing very little at the latest fleets. To be honest, they haven't done a great deal for a little while. So, but there you go. But you also get some structure build tokens as well, which is nice to have. And here we go then. Here it is, the Hyena itself. We've been waiting for this one some time, haven't we? And now it's
What
out.
a beast!
What do we reckon then? So you've got it in your base, mate. How did you go through the stats, and what did you reckon?
I'll wait for that to finish. Okay, it's an absolute animal. Well, just by looking at it from the start point, 33k damage, blah blah blah, 105 range. I mean, these specials do work on it, so they do extend the range. So I mean, you're not going to outrange this thing if it's built right in someone's base. You're not outranging that. The good thing as well is if you can find a way to put it sort of a little bit further in your base, because it obviously has the 50% chance of critical damage on enemies below 50% health. So maybe if you have 2 on your front line, to sort of, hold back some holes that are weak penetrating, and then one sort of further in your base, like if someone tries to run in a prep fleet, that thing would do serious nice damage and won't be outranged as well. So.
Yeah, so a critical hit would have 66,000 damage, right?
That's before specials, yeah.
Yeah, that would be amplified by the specials and by an AT transformer.
I believe it was 77,000 damage.
That's nuts, isn't it?
Good grief!
It is nuts.
Which is
and it's one shot. It's one salvo.
You get any conqueror we have today. Forget about deflection, but get any conqueror you have today. When they are below 50% health, and one critical hit from that turret will just finish them off.
Yep. I like it a lot.
And period. Right? Game over.
I'm just laughing at the Hulk. Hulk said SSKB is a term used for knitting. What?
Okay. I want to know how he knows that.
I have blank prides, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I haven't spent the time to actually fit them out.
Even 4 prides, each one. Think 4 prides, each one adding 1,500 deflection. That's still like what, 6,000 deflection? Is that the number?
Something like that, yeah.
It's not.
How about single shot? Hey guys, how about single shot
there's
kill
no
probability?
But at the end of the day, there's not supposed to be a hole out there that's built to destroy every single base.
No. Correct.
I mean, yeah, the pride might fade against the bases that have Hyena missiles in, but then you've got to use a different tactic. Find a way to prep them out.
And do you want to bet that there's going to be a new hull coming out in this tier 6 that's going to have 80,000 penetrative deflection?
Which is where balance comes into it. No good base should be built to fight with just one type of damage. You should try to do as many types of damage as you can.
Yeah, but I think this turret not neutralizes, but it's a very strong counter against Pride that comes just 3 days after the Pride was released.
Which is kind of why I said you should put one further back into your base. Where it can't be prepped, because the main thing that people are going to be looking at straight away is prepping these things out.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna jump in for the SSKP thing.
Yeah, I got it.
You saw it. You saw it. Single shot.
Yeah, that's good. So
probability. There you go.
I was going to say single shot killing pack, but yeah, it's
single shot. That's what it actually stands for. Single shot kill probability.
Works nicely. Right.
You're
okay.
welcome.
Let's go forward. So here we go. Here's the beast. Here's the liberator. What does that ship look like to you? What does it look like to you? That ship. What do we used to have?
Vendetta. I don't know.
No, it looks like a Mercury.
Mercury. Exactly.
Mercury.
It looks like a Merc ship. You should know that.
I didn't really like the Mercs. I think I built them and recycled them because I'm an idiot. And apparently that's what I like to do with my ships.
So yeah, it looks like the Merc, doesn't it? Okay, to me, with a couple of wings on it and that sort of stuff. So they haven't been that, inventive, I don't think, to be honest. But what have we got here? So yeah, it's another T6 Conqueror, so bear that in mind. So limited usage, obviously, in the PvPs and that sort of stuff. But you might need this again, obviously, for the next one that's coming next month, that sort of stuff. It's also close up and new, which is quite nice. The deflection targets stats are there, which is good. Penetrative deflection.
Just a quick one, Mark.
4K. Yeah, go on, mate.
I don't think it's actually cold snap immune until it gets its bloodthirst.
No,
Really?
it's not. I was reading the stats.
Say that again.
It's got.
I don't.
It's got to have its bloodthirst to be cold.
No, the bloodthirst itself is cold snap immune.
No, I think
That- where
like
it
it has
says
to
special
get
ability-
maximum stacks on it to get cold snap immune.
Well, that's
No,
how
the bloodthirst. Look, the bloodthirst. The way it works, it's progressive. For each thing that you get a 20th. For each stack, you get a 20th of the bloodthirst. All of that
Yes.
is cold snap immune. Any of the
Are you
bloodthirst
sure?
stuff is cold snap.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
that's what
positive.
it is. You don't disable bloodthirst by using cold snap or frostbite. That's all it means.
I know someone who didn't read my article about bloodthirst. That's for
But it's
sure.
just the way that it's worded in front of me. It looks a bit funnier to the previous ones I've seen because it says here, like, you know, bloodthirst max stacks, and then it gives you the list of what you can get at maximum buff.
Okay.
And then
I
obviously
just wanted
Cold Snap's
to
written,
point
so.
I just wanted to point out that this hull is vulnerable against ballistics,
Yeah, blunders.
and it's vulnerable against radioactive, which can be countered by using radioactive plates. But ballistic, no counters, no countermeasure. So that's
ballistic's
how.
actually a difficult one. Like besides blunders, like if you're looking at base guard wise, unless you're running, as Mark stated earlier, a malice, or you know you happen to have an old gamma laying around. If I'm honest, ballistic is one of my least favorite weaknesses on a ship. Purely because ballistic's 100% accuracy based.
Yep.
And I mean, with the evade bonus already set to 20%, you're gonna have a difficult time with there. And there's not much in the way of something that really packs a punch.
Not only that, I mean, there's the fact that it outranges every ballistic frontline turret. It outranges the blunderbuss. It outranges any ballistic guard who now have a range of 100. This guy's just going to kill them all if he can stop. And he can stop because 80,000 explosive deflection. So really, sitting under mortar fire is not a problem, right?
It's going to be a game of chicken to kill rats.
What about the new missile turret?
It won't be able to sit under the missile. So if you can place a blunder with ATR transformer on it and a Hyena sort of close proximity and force them to rush in between the two, then yeah, you're going to have some pretty good results. But besides that,
Phalanx and bullseye.
don't even fucking say that. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm
Phalanx,
going back up.
Phalanx and bullseye.
Right, so the main point about this one here is the fact that it's got the inbuilt bonus, obviously, to missile range of 10%. Add that then, obviously, to the missile range extenders that you can get and the retargeting capabilities, etc., and that sort of stuff. Then this thing is going to have a crazy range. So bear in mind that this thing, your 5 tiles, by the way, is now not safe. Okay, I'll say that again. So 5 tiles is no longer safe with this thing around.
It'd make hell of a good prep fleet, wouldn't it?
It will be a crazy prep fleet, but obviously it won't be able to take too many hits from hyenas and that sort of stuff. So, but if you want to go and be a real pain in the ass and go and nip out and try and nip somebody's OP and that sort of stuff and just walk away, then this thing would probably reach a lot of bases until people realize what's going on.
What's the repair time on it? 30 minutes. So
I'm
just like the
sure,
spite.
mate.
So
The rest of them generally are.
This is going to take the place of spite preps. We'll just prep.
I
with
think
this
it will.
instead.
Yeah, I think it will. And they'll be playing
Fantastic.
chicken. This will be playing chicken against Rets as well because this is weak to Rets, and yet Rets are weak to this because it's a missile. Rets died in seconds against missiles. So
But
it's
this
going
has
to
the
be
range.
Yeah, and the fact is that the ones in their base will be tanked up to hell with lots of armor and that sort of stuff, and these he's just running with no armor. And you'll, like you say, you'll get 2 or 3 of these going in, and it's like a 3-coin fix. Who cares? Well, I don't care anyway.
What's the range?
You don't care.
The
Filthy
weapons on there.
So it comes at about 107 or something like that, doesn't it? Is that right?
106.4.
Yeah.
And what's the range of a Ret's weapon?
103.
Yeah,
103.
So yeah.
So the Ret's not even going to fight the damn thing.
So this guy sets a new maximum for range in the game. It's the longest range ship combo you can do in the game now alone. You have some other things at 103, and you have some other things at 100, and then 98, and then down.
I was just about to say I disagree with anything that increases ranges to this point. I don't like anything. Rather is what I meant to say. I don't like anything.
I think it's.
I agree.
Sorry, Stu.
It's a huge pain in the ass to adapt to. Like, I mean, I mean, if you think of it this way, right? I've got a Vanquisher in my base guard that has like 102 range, 103 range, something like that. I can't remember.
It's never going to fire.
Like, and I have a Zoe's Rhino behind that and a Harlock Citadel behind that. Obviously, I'm using the Vanquisher, the remote target. Now, my Vanquisher is never going to fire, which means that now 3/4 of my guard is now useless.
Now means you have to coin a couple Liberators and put them in your base guard.
Yeah.
And they will kill the Prides because they're missile hull, and they will be the longest possible spotter for whatever's behind there, your Harlock Citadel, Zoe Vendetta, or whatever, right?
I mean, I know Mort's going to kill him. Look at him.
Like, now there's an even more amount of empty space I need to keep all over my base, which I find very boring. That you have all that space that you cannot use, otherwise it can be sniped and mortars and everything. And it keeps shrinking the usable area of your base to an ever smaller area. I mean, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So
it's doable. It's just boring.
So what I'd like to see is basically that we'll have a discussion on this one, I think, on the open mic, because a couple of people are bound to coin them straight off and that sort of stuff, and we'll see some of the big alliances, you know, out there, and they'll have coined them and that sort of stuff. And by the end of the week, we'll see 1 or 2 hit videos because people love to put that sort of stuff up, and it'll be a good thing to discuss, I think, for this coming weekend, because it's only VXP weekend, and that's just generally a repetition, isn't it? It's quite boring. So apart from whinging that you didn't get enough points for hitting your conqueror on a stupid target, there's not much to talk about on the VXP. So this will be definitely a good discussion point, I think. We'll move on because we've got quite a few slides, and we're going to overrun tonight. So it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of slides to go through. So and this is the last one. This is slide 5, basically. So it's just a reminder there, basically. So it's saying, then, yeah, there's going to be a badge. There's badge collectors out there. They'll like those and they're enjoying that sort of stuff. But it basically says in there that encounters, remind yourself on encounters 5 and 7. Okay. It says to use the Pride fleet if you've already got it. Well, they're making a lot of assumptions there. It's only just come out, a few days ago, and they're already saying use it in this TLC. So, hello guys. Yeah, nothing like promoting the corner, is there? Okay.
Well,
go on, mate.
I was just going to say, sorry, Mark. I was just going to say, they say the Pride would be easy if you have the Pride, but if you don't, they say the second best option is the Spite. And we're going to talk about it in a few moments, but there is a TLC in parallel where you can actually win the Spite, the special, I think 12 days of tokens to build a Spite, which means you get a Spite instantly. And I believe there are some VXP Spite tokens as well. So my advice for people who don't have all Conquerors or everything, if you can do the Spite TLC, Spiteful,
and then have a go at this.
Do it first. Do it first. Get the Spite built with the tokens best you can, and then use the Spite as lead on this one. That's the right order, so to speak.
Yeah, and don't armor the Spite. There's no point. Otherwise, you're just using up loads and loads of flipping.
Or use war plates, whatever.
Yeah, or use the war plates that make it worthwhile. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so there we go. That's the thing. That's it summarized. We're done there. So let's move on. This one has slightly changed. So the road crew, obviously, we all know what happened last month. This was a pain in the backside, and actually most people just sacked it. Went, sod that, far too difficult. So based on player feedback, we have retuned the difficulty for this campaign to be less difficult than the previous iteration. Then it obviously doesn't kick in until tomorrow at midday PST, which is evening time for us, which is 8 p.m. Okay, so that's generally the plan. Okay, Ren's had to shoot off because he's at work and work's finished for him, so he's gone because he up to the hour. So anyway, as it says there, roll through number 1 is the same. It's yet again it's 1 times ready cutthroat crew. So,
just refresh us quickly. What chips did we use for this one? There's so many TLCs. What were the targets? You're stuck as well, aren't you?
I didn't do it. I didn't bother because people were going into it. They go, "You died in seconds, so I didn't bother." So it's siege. It's a siege target. So use your siege fleets. So it says siege fleets there, doesn't it? So, but everybody that went into it died in an instant, and they went, "Jesus, my fleets are obviously rubbish."
I just sort of skipped it, so I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah. So it's a raid format similar to, but apparently it wasn't. It was just so overpowered. It was a freaking joke.
Oh, I remember it now. Yeah, I remember.
And
like,
you know,
half a
I
time of it.
did not go anywhere near it. I just completely ignored it. I didn't even do this spiteful one either, to be honest, because it needed that many more spites. So
Well, to be fair, if everyone's getting their ironclads up, do you even really need to do this?
well, there's a reason why you might want to do it. And that's because so that's price pack 1, okay, and then we'll go forward to price pack 2. So this is that new, obviously the you can't get this on the rollable crews, but basically it's the Scoundrels crew, which is basically Raken in a dustman's outfit. And basically
It's a
you're going to
good
get
look
2
for him, though.
this
It's a
time.
really good look for him, I think.
It is, and you're going to get 2 this time in price pack 2, so that's quite decent. Okay, they don't last very long, but they're there if you want them. So 26 minutes, I think, is a real. I think that's pretty crappy, to be honest. You could have done better than that. But
Big
anyway,
package,
yeah, I think it should have been at least 40, if not maybe 50 minutes.
I think what Monster meant is like those people with ironclads that don't really need that crew. I think he meant that as in the such that it's so easy to get base part.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
but
is.
what I was going to
Now.
say to counter that is after this raid format, we're going to be switching targets, so then you might need it.
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's nice is that not many people get the demo squad. Look, and if you can now, and if this has been detuned so that Ironclads can do it, and I hope it has, then you're going to get Junkyard's Dog. I don't know if it's that level. It doesn't say anywhere, and I couldn't see it. So, and we don't know because it doesn't start till tomorrow. So I put the blue one up, the 2-star. But it seems the 3rd encounter, I'm making the assumption that it ought to be that one, you know, and not the 1-star one. But you're going to get the 3-star, obviously the demolition squad as well. So that is worth having. That's a nice thing to have for, you know, if you haven't got to go and kill your fleet completely on all 3 rounds, or kill it on 1 and 2 and then let it fix, and the next day do level 3, then all's good as far as I'm concerned. Then you've basically got a crew for an overnight fix. So, and that's quite a difficult crew to roll at the moment. So I think that's quite a decent thing. What do you think, guys?
I like it. I like demo squads.
Yeah, me too.
It's great. It's great in the
I have
raid.
about 20, but I like them. I mean, I'll keep collecting them.
Yeah,
Why
I just
not?
like stacking them up, you know, because they are good to have, aren't they?
They look pretty in my dark.
But I don't know. Well, so Monster's going to be the test on this because he's done his bits and bobs and got some cannons and that sort of stuff and various things. But actually, he has got a good fleet of ironclads, so he'll be my tester, I think, to be honest. And he can be able to feed me back as you do, mate, positive or negative in your normal way. It's either shit or it's not.
Does that mean that I've got to do it now? Does it?
Yes. And they can bring me a call and just tell me how hard it was.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're coming back to the game. It's great. I love it because it's like uphill struggle. It's funny. Right. Okay. So Spiteful's not changed. Okay. Apart from obviously the start time, finish time, that sort of stuff. Now, all these campaigns are all starting on Thursday. They're all finishing on Tuesday to get us back in sync. Okay, then. So just bear that in mind. They're all being cut short by 1 day. So they're getting us back into sync by finishing them on the Tuesday. Okay. So next week's update will be back on time. So there we go. It hasn't changed right then. So you get the Spiteful Hull, obviously, you get build tokens, that sort of stuff, and then obviously you get more build tokens, and you get more VXP tokens. Okay, you get your guidance system and the scoring missile, which is a pretty good missile. I like it, and I use it on quite a few things, including actually on my Mega Hull. So I quite like that one, to be honest. So that campaign's level 50s above. That hasn't changed, that sort of stuff. And give it a crack, see what you think. It says the difficulty hasn't changed, that sort of stuff. So
And that one's the one that you can use Tide Seekers or something.
yes.
Right, okay. I'm happy. I might do this one this time. I have
Yeah.
Tide Seekers now.
Yeah, it's a good campaign, that one. So that's the Spiteful. So High Tide is back again. So here you go. You could do this one first if you wanted to, because what does this one get you? Okay, so similar to the High Tide campaign in the past. Okay, then lead your assault forces, blah 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 blah. So this is Blue Apollos, isn't it? I think if I remember rightly. And what do you get then? You get the Fire Twister Torp, and obviously you get the Harlock's Tide Seeker flagship.
That
No,
one.
the highlight Tide Seeker capacity will remain at 2.
Yeah. So if you've got 2 already,
Yeah.
obviously you're not going to get another one. But some people still don't have one at all.
Yes, I don't. But
Exactly,
And a lot-
mate. I thought you'd seen that as well.
Yeah.
And
So
a
there
lot
you
of
go,
people also skipped. A lot of people also skipped it the last time because they're like, "Hey, you don't need a second Harlock Tide."
Happy
Now
to do.
people are starting to put them in the base
in
defense.
the base
so
defense. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Now we want them again.
So for those that haven't got it, those returning to the game, okay then, it's a reasonable campaign because obviously you need Apollos or something similar like that, and then obviously you can go and get yourself the lead Harlock Tide Seeker, and it transforms, your Tide fleet. It really does.
Turns it into some kind
Yes.
of beast.
it makes it a beast and saves you an awful lot of repair time. I have to say, it's definitely an investment. This one.
There are a couple of videos up that will actually, illustrate the difference, because I like the Mayhems. When I was testing it, I did a Mayhem by itself, and it took, I don't even remember what the hell it was, but I know with the Howlock, if you park it in the corner, it's instant repair. So
you even got to put it on it.
There's a significant difference. Just build it blank.
It's a good hull. So there we go. So that's High Tide. So that's another TLC. The timeline's the same. They all start at the same time. It's all kicking tomorrow, midday at PST time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 CET. So there we go. Right. So on to the XP weekend. We know all about it. Basically, it's going to kick in on Friday at 9 a.m. Okay. It's going to run right through to Monday at the same time, basically. Okay. This will be interesting. Because this is the first time we're going to have a bit of an issue with, obviously, a lot of people like to go in and hit the salves while they're sort of doing the things. Well, you can't now with the PvP hulls, right? So, difficult. I'm not quite sure how people are going to take that, to be honest, So
yeah, I was under the impression reading the December, the what is it called? The not the work in progress. Bloody hell, I can't remember now. The state of the game.
State of the game we had.
I was under the impression that they said that the salvages were going to be exempt, and what I'm guessing, because we haven't heard why, I'm guessing that they just couldn't code it like that and take into account the whole Conqueror thing. Maybe it's time for a new map target. Maybe it's time.
Yeah, maybe it is. Something needs to happen, because it's I saw the throwback that we had, and I can't remember which one of the mods it was on the forum that basically said, "Oh, that's okay. You can rank them up. Your PvP stuff. You can rank them up during base hits. There's just 5 ships in there. Unless you're going to give it a massive amount of VXP, just because it's a base hit thing, you're going to talk hundreds of base hits."
And you have to kill the fleets in the base hits to get the VXP. Otherwise, you don't get
as well.
Yeah,
that's months and months of work. That's just never going to happen. No one's going to do that.
Yeah.
So
one of the things, and the VXP I've got, well, it's crap. It's absolutely crap, man.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw that I liked the idea of was taking the unidentified raiding fleets, the ERFs,
yes,
and having them on the map every weekend, because now with the massive amount of armor that some of these things are coming out with, it probably is not that bad of an idea, because you don't get that much VXP from those, and those might be a good idea.
Just let them rolled out for 24 hours, so everyone gets a shot at it.
More map clutter.
Get rid of the salvages.
I'm happy with that.
Take the elite salvages out. Look, take the elite salvages out and put the ERFs in.
Yeah, but
they're only going to be around the.
We're at the wrong end of the spectrum to be saying taking out elite salvages, because I know a lot of people rely on their massive. A lot of people do their alley doing that. Plenty of people use salvages.
Take out the regular salvages. Then I don't know. I mean, something's got to be done, because with the amount of armor that's coming up, they've gone from the XP weekend being, a benefit and bonus to us, to now it's a necessity. And especially when the high value targets are only out for 36 hours, and you have, a whole new, 2 sets of fleets, maybe, if you're a Koina, to rank. And if you're working, when the hell are you going to do it?
Yeah. No, I get it.
What happens if
you
work extra? I mean, there's got to be something. Something's got to give here. Something's got to give.
But Holzer just picked that there as well. Don't forget, because of the way the foundry's geared as well, a lot of things are geared around salves, aren't they, as well, and that sort of stuff. And the people that need those salves are the ones that maybe need to get certain ships through the the foundry levels.
That's true. I completely forgot.
Foundry changes are coming.
Yeah, they are, but we don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah, but you don't know if there's going to be anything to do with salvages or not.
We don't, but I mean, now's the time. Now's the time to have a dialogue about it before they change it. If it's in the process of being changed. Now is when you talk about it.
Monster, cool.
I don't know why they don't do a VXP campaign, and you can just have it there for 3 or 4 days, and then if you're at work and stuff, you'll still have the time to come on and do it.
Start it when you want. That's not a bad idea.
That isn't a bad idea.
Your 36 hours starts when you hit it, just like FM.
When you hit it yourself, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like that.
You trigger it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
That's actually good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Mate, Check you. Right. Okay. And George, take it away. You can have this one.
Oh hell, I don't want bug fixes. They fixed a bunch of bugs. See, there it is. It's in black and white.
Researching retrofit levels for a hole through the foundry should now properly unlock the retrofits ship skins at appropriate levels.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, let me jump in here for a second, real quick.
Oh well.
I got one of the players, I think it was Nines, mentioned to me when they did the FM today, he had done he got the Citadel, and he had not had the tokens, or not the tokens, the bits to actually do it through the Foundry yet. Okay, so when he won the Citadel in the FM, he automatically also got R1 done of his Citadel, which I found interesting. I don't know if it was because the numbers are different between actually gaining the blueprint or if it was some sort of glitch, but that is I don't know if it's a bug or not, but it's somewhere in here with the Foundry stuff. So
Okay. Well, that's a positive one as far as I'm concerned.
yes, I like it.
It's fine.
Go get your FM today.
Moving on. Stu?
Right, the radioactive accuracy bonus added by the Atomic Focus Special will now be displayed in the overall stats for the turret it is equipped to.
Yeah, that was missing before, wasn't it? I made an assumption it was just doing it, but it didn't show. Yeah, so
I
I've
don't
added
think I
to
actually noticed it.
Yeah, I noticed that one as well, I have to say.
Whole specific tokens have been reorganized in the token inventory. All tokens that only work for a specific hole. Can't friggin' say that. I hate you.
Specific, yeah.
Have been moved to the whole category, which has been renamed whole something. All non-whole something ship tokens will appear in the ship category.
Right, okay, so they've moved around to the relevant areas. Okay. I'm getting a bit annoyed about tokens because I've got so many tokens that I can't actually use.
You're just kicking
I had
around.
an idea a little while ago actually about this token dilemma. They should make a recycle box for tokens where you could just put like ship something specials, tokens into like a recycle box, and out pops like a half value.
A half value generic
ship.
Yeah, half value generic one. Yeah, so you get something back because I've got plenty of tokens now that I'm just. In fact, my tokens list, you got to scroll down and find the right tokens you want.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Including like Hyperium tokens and Gantry tokens and all.
I mean, granted, some of them sometimes come in handy, like for small refits and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, I've just got a lot of wasted tokens. Anyway, yeah. So moving on. Fixed an issue where the sprite for a defending ship displayed in the base planet would not be facing the same direction as indicated by its rotational setting or as shown in base view.
Didn't we have that last week too?
I did not know that.
Hang on, let me just look at that again. Fixed an issue. I wasn't listening. I was watching chat. Fixed an issue. The sprite of a defending ship displayed in the base would not be facing the same direction. That was picked up before, wasn't it?
Last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about last week. I'm not sure because I wasn't here.
It's not the first time. How's that? I'm just saying.
But that's definitely been. They don't rotate in the right places. Yeah, exactly. In the base view, I was in base planner. That's right. They're about 45 degrees out in the base planner view, and then when you went to the main page, back into your base again, they were fine. And it was like that's random. So yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Are we at final thoughts time? Because I want to do.
Yeah, we are. We're at final thoughts time because there we go. So we're up to final thoughts. While the Hulsh he's doing a quick test. Actually,
quick test for us, hopefully. I just want to say, and I said it in an article I published just before we went live. I have to give Kix kudos. I mean, there were several of us, and there was a funny story we shared a couple weeks ago. There was several of us that were asking for specific things in the game that players were bringing to us as issues. And, we went to the contacts that we had and we were talking about it. And lo and behold, several of them were hearing the same thing from several of us from the different platforms and different shows and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just want, Kickside does listen. I tried to explain this last week, I think, on the Saturday show. It's a company. It's not like they can just, pick up and zoom off right away when they get an idea. It's a company. It works like a company. It's, it's corporate America, babe. That's how it is. But they do listen, okay? They listen to the advocates. There's advocates, both players like us and people in Kickside. I mean, these guys play the game, Like, I know some of the developers, they play the game. They're into it, man. They like what they're doing. They like the game. They like this stuff. They're not trying to screw us, even though it seems like that sometimes. But this is just a clear indication that they do want to go in the right direction. I think it's a fantastic step. I mean, the pathing for new players or players coming back now, like if you've been gone for a year and you come back now, Punisher and Citadel, right off the bat, you walk in, you start doing the FM, you are catching up very, very quickly, far more quickly than you could a year and a half ago. You know?
Agreed.
I hope they continue it. I really do hope they continue it. I think they're on the right path. But I got to give them props. I mean, this was a huge. It was like a community win, and it wasn't just a community in the player community. It was community, including Kixeye, that came together and did this. I mean, this is huge. I mean, I can't adequately articulate how big of a deal this
Stop
is.
Stop using big words.
Shut the fuck up. I can't actually,
I don't
explain
know what
adequately, how big the underlying issues that brought this about were, because it's a paradigm shift in their thinking, which is fantastic. And Stu, I don't care if you don't go look it up, man. There's a dictionary. You're in front of a computer. But I do. I want to give Kixeye credit, man. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm thrilled. I might not like some of the stuff that's in there. I might not like some of the like the new hull or anything. That's a personal player thing. But overall, I am freaking thrilled at what I saw today. Great. Kudos.
No,
Thank
I
you.
think everyone on the panel completely agrees with that. So
2, 3. Right. So raid next month, by the way, someone's just asked there. I got a funny feeling the next raid will be March the 16th. Looking at it. Oh, in fact, no, it's a week long, isn't it? It'll probably be a week long, so it may be beforehand, in fact, because it'll probably start on the Tuesday, so it may start on the 14th, actually. Because it's the end of the season, isn't it? No, this is going to be the component raid. So it'll be interesting. In fact, it'll be a completely new concept because
it'll be the superstore or whatever.
It'll be a superstore, won't it? So this is the component. So this is the catch-up one, basically. So it's going to be interesting. It should run around
PvE whole. If they're going to go
first week, the Monday and Tuesday are actually in the previous month, because obviously that's the 27th, 20th of February. Looks like it. Then it'll probably run around. It could start. Yeah, it could start the Wednesday, couldn't it? To be honest, or the Tuesday. I'm not really sure when they're going to start it. But it looks like it'll be in that third week anyway. So.
Well,
it's going to be interesting.
Unless they drop us back 1 week. How many prizes they just put in? They're putting 3 in tier 4, haven't they? It's just 3, isn't it? Sorry, in tier 5, it's just 3 this time.
Yeah.
So this week you're going to get 2. Next week you're going to get tokens already. The week after, no, you might not. It might actually start the second week because there's less prizes. They might have done that on purpose. Gets us back online again.
Well, we'll find out.
Okay. All right then. Excellent. Oh, I don't know what that timeout was all about, but I'm sure it was something quite interesting. There we go.
No, it was just having fun with them. That's all.
Oh,
He disappointed Robin and I because he came back and said he was not going to do the test because he couldn't.
All right. Okay. So we basically kicked him out of the chat.
Oh, if we're on the subject of timing people out, where's 99s?
Oh, there you go.
That's a good idea.
I don't know where he is. Right, let's close it here because we've gone over the hour by about 10 minutes or so, and that sort of stuff.
We're having
Can I time Robbie now?
No, you can't time Robin out. Robin is useful. Okay. Let's say good night to everybody. Have a good week. Okay. Enjoy all the TLCs, that sort of stuff. Get your hyenas built because you'll enjoy those. Use your base parts up. Those that are just stepping out in a game, enjoy your Punisher, enjoy your Citadel, that sort of stuff. And I'm really chuffed for you. You're going to have some great fun with those as soon as you get them up and running. It will transform your game. It really will. Thanks all for tuning in, and hopefully some people will be able to take part with us on the open mic on Saturday. Okay, good.
Good night, guys. Thanks for listening to
Bye,
our
everyone.
Good night.